Hello everyone. My name is Naveed. I'm the pre-sales engineer for enterprise security in Redington Gulf. And today we'll be talking about Palo Alto Prisma Access. I've been working on Palo Alto Network since last couple of years. And in today's session, we'll be looking into its SASE technology, which is Prisma Access, starting with an overview, then going for a deep dive, and then finally the use cases where it can help the customers. So as you know, currently, when it comes to business, you have seen currently more and more companies are using cloud, and many applications are moving from data centers to the cloud. Due to current scenario, as well, if you see COVID-19, we are seeing a lot of workforces working remotely from home. Initially, it was, I would say, a couple of years ago, 5%, but now almost 100% is working from home, right? So you can see as well, there are many statistics and reports showing different values, which has been recognized by various portals. And it is estimated that by 2024, 60% of the enterprises would have implemented SD-WAN for more optimal routes to the internet and the applications on internet to get better performance. So to implement, I would say if you see the current scenario when it comes to security solutions on cloud, it is very complex, right? The existing approach is to secure mobile workforces and cloud applications in combination with data center on-prem in the cloud. It's very complex. Customers are adopting different point solutions like web proxy, VPNs, MPLS backhauling, etc., to help get things going and provide access and security. But this is not only complex, but users end up with a poor experience because with MPLS backhauling, latency is not ideal and no security, only connectivity, right? So you can see the three main challenges: complex setup, poor user experience, and security gaps. So here comes, SASE to help you out. Okay, so SASE stands for Secure Access Service Edge. Okay, so it is, it has been emerging since a couple of years now as a cybersecurity concept that even Gartner has described in August 2019 report. The future of networks or network security is in the cloud. So with the increase in remote users and software as a service, the existing network approaches and technologies simply no longer provide the levels of security and access control that digitization, or I would say that digital organization need. Thus, the need for a new approach for the network and security has risen. So as you can see, there are two components in SASE: security as a service and network as a service. Okay, and both of them are converged with wide area network, and provide with various solutions, or why I'm saying solutions rather than I would say it's service. Okay, service based solutions, because it's totally on cloud to support cloud workload, along with even hybrid and on-prem workloads. So you can see there are various features supported by I would say SaaS, but here security as a service and NAS. So if you're aware of Palo Alto Networks, you must be aware of the various features that it already provides to the customers. So these are the same features, but in provided in a I would say a better way for supporting global customers. Okay, and providing them with access and security wherever they are at any time. So the features like SSL decryption, uh, firewall policies, it becomes FWAS, or firewall as a service. Then also the threat prevention becomes ZTNA, zero trust network access. Finally, wildfire sandboxing, DNS security, CASB, uh, cloud security web gateway, DLP. As they all become security as a service component. And network as a service, if you're aware, or if you're following the latest updates, version 9.1 have been released, and for hardware firewalls, SD-WAN is already a feature with Panos 9.1. So same has been incorporated in Prisma Access as well. And again, the traditional features of QoS, policy-based forwarding, IPsec, and SSL VPN. So this becomes a network as a service component. Yeah. So here we go, in a much more detail, or I would say, highlighting each and every feature when it comes to deployment. So if you see here, secure access service edge is, I would say, developed and managed on cloud, and it is present globally across 100 plus countries. I would say 100 plus locations in 70 plus countries, and it provides all the customers across the globe access, to the various data sources, or I would say various resources like SaaS, public cloud, internet, connectivity between headquarters, branch offices, and mobile, right? And it helps organizations in several ways with the features like flexibility, cost saving, reduced complexity, increased performance, and as zero trust network access. So why flexibility? Because you can see a lot of comprehensive features. I would say a comprehensive feature set is available for the customers to choose from, including network and security access services. Cost saving, definitely you don't have to have I would say you need to have the basic setup to connect your branch office or headquarter or your remote offices or your remote users to the SASE cloud or remote Prisma Access cloud, instead of buying and managing multiple point products. Yeah, so it will traditionally, or it will dramatically reduce cost and IT resources. The reduced complexity, yeah, definitely you don't have to manage anything. It's a service. So nowadays you can see, due to COVID-19 situation, many people are moving their I would say workload to cloud. That's why you can see a lot of usage from AWS, Google Cloud, Azure. So they definitely reduce the complexity because they manage everything for the customers. And clouds, cloud computing is at scale, so it definitely increases the performance and provides easy access to the resources located anywhere. That is, any user located anywhere can access the apps, internet, and even corporate data on-prem and cloud easily, and with better performance and better security. And ZTNA, like I hope everyone knows the concept where you remove the trust assumptions when users and devices or applications connect from anywhere across the globe, and so it doesn't matter where you're connecting from, who is connecting, what is connecting, at what time it is connecting. You still make sure that you secure the complete session regardless of any other context. Yeah. So moving on, we will talk about the architecture. So SASE architecture identifies, like we discussed, it identifies users and devices, and applications, and and applies policy-based security and delivers secure access to the appropriate application or data. So this approach allows organization to apply secure access no matter where the users are located. So it's more or less the same, but in the slide we are seeing architecture in detail, I would say. Okay, so you can see there are there are so many components connecting to the Prisma access layer. So you have security layer, you have networking layer, and you have connectivity to public internet, um, SaaS infrastructure, public cloud, uh, and IPsec tunnel connectivity through to branch offices and mobile users. And you provide the same the the patented technology SP3 for providing security to the user and application traffic. So, but to talk about the connectivity here, just imagine this Prisma cloud to be or Prisma access cloud to be available over 100 locations spread across 70 countries. So I would say covering almost every country or every region rather than country, every region in the world. So the connectivity is provided by the firewalls, next generation firewalls, but rather than hardware firewalls or virtual firewalls, it is firewall as a service. So firewalls, I would say rather virtual firewalls, but you don't know, it is similar to VMware or any kind of firewall which is on-prem deployed on a ESXi, but it is completely hosted, managed, and deployed by the cloud vendors as a service. So in this case, Palo Alto is taking care of providing the gateway firewalls which connect the Prisma Access Cloud as a service for the customers. So as a matter of fact, when you want to opt for the SASE service or your Prisma Access, you don't have to spin up anything, or you don't have to even do any configuration on your, or I would say just you need to establish connectivity between your on-prem firewall and the Prisma access. So sometimes it is through Global Protect VPN if it is if it's a Palo Alto firewall on-prem, or if it is a third party, then it firewall, then it needs to be IPsec tunnel. And on the Prisma access side, the firewalls are Palo Alto firewalls hosted as a service, so no spinning up of the firewalls is needed. It is completely taken care by Palo Alto, and it is I would say the management is done by Panorama. Yeah. So I would say the management orchestration of security policies, of logging is taken care by Panorama. And uh, if you are aware of cloud computing technologies, yeah, they provide with very less latency and with very good performance. So so the application, it has been visible, or it has been tested, and they have seen that Office 360 applications like Office 365, G Suite, Salesforces, and the SLA is less than 30%, 30 ms latency for accessing those applications through Prisma Access. Okay, so now, so here you can imagine that the Prisma Access has presence across the globe, and the perimeter gateways are Palo Alto firewalls, and all of them are being centrally managed by Panorama. Okay, again, that is also hosted as a service, and it is only accessible to Palo Alto, development team, or the management team, and when customers opt for that service, it is available to them as well. But what is not visible to them is the send or the backend data lake, where all of the logs from the gateway firewalls is stored. So it is definitely taken care by Panorama, but the data lake is, if you are aware, Cortex data lake. Okay, so that's again a new technology which has been launched a couple of months ago, which basically integrates the network endpoint cloud security in a single platform. So these firewalls, they don't store the logs on their hard disks. Rather, they basically use a logging service, which is Cortex Data Lake, which stores all the data at a central location. Okay. Yeah. So just imagine, this is the this is the feature set, and I would say this is a deep down connectivity, but it is on a global scale, connected by multiple firewalls, gateway firewalls, and centrally connected or centrally logged by a Cortex Data Lake and managed by Panorama. Okay. So, and the features are the same, as you can, what you see in next generation firewall subscriptions, like threat prevention, wildfire, URL filtering. But apart from that, you also get threat intel like autofocus, aperture, DNS security, even global protect VPN with HIP enabled. What else? Almost every feature that is available, for cloud-based security, it is available. But apart from SD-WAN, so it has to be purchased separately. So when now after the architecture, when you talk about the overall connectivity of remote offices or mobile users from the various locations to Prisma access, you can see that it is pretty simple. Yeah. So mobile users, they connect from Global Protect VPN client, and remote offices, they connect to the Prisma access from their through their firewalls. Okay. So here, like I said, it can be Palo Alto firewall, or it can be a traditional any third-party firewall. Okay. So in case of Palo Alto, you need to establish Global Protect VPN. Sorry, in case of Palo Alto firewall, if it is mobile user, so it has to be Global Protect VPN. If it is remote networks, then it has to be IPsec tunnel, traditional IPsec tunnel between the remote office firewall and the Prisma access, because on the Prisma access there is always Palo Alto firewall, gateway firewall as a service. And then finally, you can also connect headquarters or SaaS applications, through Prisma access as a central point or central hub for connection between remote users, SaaS applications, data centers, and mobile users. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So Prisma access is the is the is a product name, I would say, from Palo Alto. The technology is SASE. So if you are aware of cloud computing, or at least aware of the basic concepts of cloud, you must be knowing what kind of features it provides, or how it is, why is it better than on-prem solutions. So it is first of all, it is globally present, so you don't have to worry about speed and performance, because connecting to on-prem data center, which is remotely located thousands of kilometers away, will definitely add high latency, and it will reduce the speed of the connection from any remote office or any remote user access. But here it is present globally, so it is I would say the latency or speed is way higher than on-prem connectivity. So it is, I would say, less than 30 milliseconds of access connecting, and this connectivity is provided by edge locations, I would say, from all across the globe. And the whole cloud infrastructure is managed, I would say, whatever service they are providing, firewall as a service, security as a service, SaaS connectivity, all of these managed services, they are basically they are developed by containers and microservices and automated in terms of deployment. So this is basically the beauty of cloud. So you configure, you manage things in a programmatic way rather than manual. intervention. So then there is scaling out and back as needed. So definitely this is the best feature. You don't get it in on-prem. So as the workload increases on Prisma Access in terms of connectivity, in terms of access, or in terms of any kind of security needed for the customers, uh, the, uh, the firewalls, I would say, they automatically are scaled up, by the panorama programmatically. So it happens automatically, and the customers don't feel anything. So it handles the workload seamlessly without and giving a good customer experience. And also when the workload goes down, it automatically scales out. So that is one good thing. And as it's a service, it is multi-tenant by nature or by design. Okay, so the customers get their own instances for management and for basically managing their Prisma Access instance, and in terms of management and controls, or like configuring policies, threat prevention, or when it comes to managing the traffic or throughput of the Prisma Access instance. So it's like you basically get a bundle. You can purchase a bundle of throughput or bundle of bandwidth. And for example, if you're a customer with 4 locations and you need to go for Prisma Access, when you go for Prisma Access, you need to just size it based upon the bandwidth. Okay, so you assume like you need 100 MB of bandwidth for divided across the 3 locations. You can go for that bandwidth bundle, 100 Mbps, and when you purchase that, you have the flexibility to manage the Prisma Access as you need as a customer admin. And you can also divide the bandwidth between the 3 locations and apply all the security policies and features related to access applications and data resources from remote users and locations. So it's like you decide what amount of bandwidth you need to distribute among your remote locations or users, and what kind of features you want to apply. And and the features, by the way, when you go for Prisma Access, all of the features that you purchase with subscriptions, they are uh, better features. I would say more features than in those same subscriptions are provided here. So you get DNS security as a bundle in the bundles. So you get threat prevention, you get URL filtering, you get DNS security, you get firewall policies, you get sandboxing, uh, threat intel, um, and a couple of more things, so which you don't get in on-prem. So uh, uh, SD-WAN is not included, but apart from that, even Global Protect nowadays, because of the current situation, they are providing free 90 days, I believe, access to Prisma access for free access for the new customers who want to test it out. And apart from that, the existing bundle also has Global Protect, a feature with HIP, as a part of bundle. You don't have to purchase HIP separately. Yeah. So it is software based, definitely. So you don't have to worry about what do you say, if it will be compatible with any specific hardware or not. So it is definitely hardware neutral. And SP3 architecture, if you're aware of how Palo Alto works, it is called single pass parallel processing architecture, wherein any packet that comes into the firewall gets checked by application inspection. I would say application ID. It's a technology from Palo Alto. So it's like application inspection, content inspection, and user identification. All of these 3 modules, they work on each and every packet as it comes in and goes out. Together to provide the throughput that you have been seeing in the data sheets, which is which is actually accurate what you see in the data sheet. Unlike the other vendors, which have 10 or 15 throughputs in the data sheets. Yeah. So it can be Prisma Access can be deployed in inline for I would say SaaS application access, and it will provide you with the content inspection and even SSL inspection when needed. Yeah, so we already talked about it. So SP3 in detail here, as you can see, when the traffic and each and every, when the packet comes in, unlike the traditional daisy chain protections, you know, approach where where each and every packet is, it goes through these modules: user ID, app ID, content ID, or rest of the other custom features by the different vendors. They go sequentially one by one, which adds to the latency and reduces to the throughput. So here we call it SP3, where when a packet enters the firewall, it is processed by, I would say, multiple copies would be sent to different different modules: app ID for user for app inspection, application inspection; content ID for content inspection; user ID for identification; and then all the inline functions are done or completed, like URL filtering, app decoding, etc. And the traffic is again encrypted and sent out in a secure manner. Yeah. So multi-tenancy, yeah, it means basically, like we discussed, every customer gets access to their own instance to Prisma access. Yeah. So here there's a point that which should be noted. So the management plane is I would say is integrated with multiple customers or shared by multiple customers. So the management plane remains the same, and multiple customers, they will have their own management instance. But when it comes to resources, it is shared by the different customers. But when it comes to data plane, as it is very critical, to achieve the performance in terms of throughput and speed, you each customer, they get dedicated data plane tenant. Okay. So when I'm talking about multi-tenancy, it is about it is definitely private and secure in terms of management or look and feel. But in terms of resources, yeah, you get shared when it comes to management plane. Because yeah, it is not like when I'm saying shared, it is more of optimum for the customer's requirement and load capacity. And when it comes to data, it is, they are making sure that nothing is affecting the data throughput or the data performance of any customer. So if any customer is facing challenges with their data workloads or performance, it should not affect the other customer. So that's the idea here. And even each customer, they get their own dedicated IP addresses. Yeah. Yeah. So this is what we were talking about: high speed, low latency connectivity through Prisma Access, which is basically the on the back end, it is gateway firewalls, Palo Alto firewalls as a service, and managed centrally by Panorama, and logged using logging service of Cortex Data Lake. So this is how it looks. And you know more here, I would say they are present almost everywhere, 100 plus locations in 76 countries, and they use Google high speed backbone. Okay, so they provide you with very good if you're aware, Google is also leading now in cloud, and and provide in terms of connectivity, internet connectivity. So you get good speed. Okay, or I would say the best in class speed. And when it comes to how it achieves high speed, low latency connectivity, it is because of the locations and the Prisma access, uh, you know, um, edge location, I would say, which is present for a specific region. So if a user is present in Europe or Belgium, it will automatically connect to the Prisma access located in Belgium. Okay, and access content in Europe. For example, if you try to access Google website from Belgium, you will never be blocked based upon the geolocation, and you will open the website in the Belgium location, definitely. But but the thing is, he will the user in Belgium will not be able to access. By default, it will connect to Prisma Access, and it will be accessing local content, and so he will not feel that he is not able to access anything, uh, you know, uh, getting blocked because of the location, restriction. Whereas if a customer from US travels to Belgium, and they have the flexibility to choose. So here it's only for US customers. And the other customers, for example, in Europe, they automatically get connected. They don't get a choice. But here for US, they when they travel to any other country, or in this case Belgium, they get the flexibility to choose between which locations they want. So they can choose US, or they can select the current location. Okay, and they will get access as per their selection. So yeah, and the other things are, as you can see, they are SLA backed. There is SLA backed stability and performance. Yeah, so it's like you get all the features and all the security that any cloud-based technology or cloud infrastructure supports. So these are the main things. Google high-speed connectivity, and the connections or other connectivity across the globe with high speed. So talking about the use cases, yeah, so there are many use cases to discuss. So one of them is mobile users. Yeah. So you can see here from the diagram, the mobile users can connect to Prisma Access. Okay. So it's like Prisma Access is the central hub for connecting the mobile users, the data centers, the branch of we'll not talk about the branch offices here, because that is another use case. So the mobile users, data center, and connecting centrally through two public cloud or SaaS applications, and even secure access to internet. Yeah. So the key differentiators compared to the competitors is that the competitors are almost like web proxies in the cloud, so they only have access, or they allow access to web applications. But Prisma Access is actually is a firewall as a service, or NGFW technology on the cloud. So it gives you with better performance, better better security, I would say, and throughput, right? So and also it is always on. So Prisma Access is always on, and you are not customer is not managing it. It is being managed by Palo Alto, and you don't have to worry about spinning up any instance. You just have to, take the service or purchase the service and connect to Prisma Access, either using your on-prem firewall, which is non-Palo Alto, or if you have Palo Alto firewall, then Global Protect VPN. If it is a non Palo Alto firewall, then IPsec VPN, and if you are remote users, then directly through Prisma Access using Global Protect, because that's what you will get as a remote access VPN. And so there are different methods of connecting to the Prisma Cloud depending upon the different requirement, or depending upon, I would say, the different setup that the customer or mobile user has. And then they will get always on, secure access to uh, data center, to public cloud, to SaaS and internet whenever they want, and from wherever they want. And yeah, so also you can imagine that it is NGFW, features that will again be applied, like the SP3 architecture, then the threat prevention, and even the global protect HIP features applied. So you can imagine what security you get from Palo Alto Networks on-prem, you will get in a better way, or in a fast way from Prisma Access on cloud. Yeah. So the steps here is users can be anywhere. So even if they move, you don't have to worry, because Prisma Access is available everywhere, and it will automatically shift the connectivity of the user as it moves. And based upon the workload, it will automatically scale out or scale in, okay, as workload increases. So that's the benefit that you get when you move to cloud and a SASE technology. Now, as you can see here, it is again an explanation of the same use case, but here you can see different colors of different curves, and you can see the report says that each color shows each data plane node instance. So this is showing you that with the increased capacity, also the handling by Prisma Access increases. Yeah. I would say, yeah, that's the same thing. Yes. So when it comes to remote networks, yeah, it's basically similar to, so I would say you get the similar feature set, similar experience as remote users, but here you definitely have, to select between two options. Either you connect using IPsec VPN tunnel, based if you have, non Palo Alto firewall on in the remote office, or branch office, and if you have Palo Alto firewall, you can connect through Global Protect VPN. So you get more or less the same feature set with same speed, with same experience, same performance. But here you cut down. Usually the connectivity between branch and headquarters is through MPLS, right? So MPLS is I would say is not a definitely it's a good solution, but it is not it does not work as expected, or it should ideally work as it should ideally work, I would say. Okay, so it is only about connectivity and dedicated bandwidth, but still, if you have experienced MPLS connectivity, they are still not as fast as as I would say cloud access. Okay, so MPLS is, and mainly MPLS is just all about connectivity, and it is also expensive. So to cut down on the costs and provide better performance and better security, you can choose Prisma Access with the same comprehensive set as you can see in the use case for mobile users. Yeah, yeah. So here, the steps would be like we have seen. Panorama is the central point of management or orchestration, okay, for Prisma Access, and the gateway firewalls are nothing but Palo Alto firewalls, but hosted as a service. So when any user or a customer opens a new office, and they can, like I discussed, they can choose the sizing, or the licensing is based upon the bandwidth pool. Okay, so they can purchase a bandwidth pool of how much ever throughput they want, based upon their experience, or they can also take our help to understand what kind of bandwidth bundle will suit them, and depending upon different locations, they can divide that. Okay, and then they can use, once they opt for the Prisma Access service, they get all the security features as a comprehensive set, for providing the security and inspection for their traffic, and then it can be managed, or it can be configured on Panorama. So even Panorama are available, or is available by in two flavors. There is Panorama as a service or on cloud, which is actually suitable if you have the complete workload on cloud. So you don't have any uh, you know resources or data on the on-prem. So you can completely manage your gateway firewalls, your user and data resources access from Panorama on the cloud. But if you have, for example, some locations which have Palo Alto firewalls, or at least one firewall on the remote location, and if you even have Panorama on premise, you can manage your Prisma access through the Panorama, okay, on the prem. But the Panorama flavor on the cloud doesn't provide you for the option to manage the firewalls on the prem. So that feature is not yet available. So when it comes to orchestration, there are two options: Prisma, or Panorama on cloud and Panorama on prem. And depending upon how your setup is, if you are completely a fully grown cloud customer, or if you are hybrid customer with some data and resources on cloud and some on prem, at least you should have on-prem Panorama and Palo Alto firewall on the prem to for the for the on-prem Panorama to manage your Prisma Access setup. Otherwise, if you're completely cloud driven, then you have to use Prisma on cloud to manage your the provision and manage your setup. And as again, you get the same auto scaling in and out feature when it comes to workload as the remote users. So going deep into the features, yeah. So there is, like we discussed, Panorama access for Panorama or Prisma access on cloud and on the prem. Okay, you can opt for any one. Okay, just 1 minute. Yeah. I opt for anyone depending upon your setup. Yeah. So you get when you have on cloud Prisma access, you basically connect all the perimeter or all the other locations which have either Palo Alto firewalls or and third-party firewalls centrally to Prisma Access, and it can be managed by Panorama. So you get all the features, okay, that you see in for of Panorama on the cloud. So SD-WAN is a new feature, I would say, which is available a couple of months ago in on the hardware firewalls on PanOS 9.1. So Prisma Access can be used as a hub for SD-WAN. Okay, so instead of setting up your own SD-WAN, Prisma Access can be used to connect the branch offices and headquarters across the globe to connect through Prisma Access SD-WAN. So as you can see, there are benefits of that. It provides you with high performance and a better management solution or options, I would say. VPN. Yeah, so you can the thing here is you can see that it is providing with the same features of of on-prem NGFW firewall, but with an option of or with basically always on status. Okay, it will always be available for you, and you don't have to worry about management or management and configuration of that, and it provides you with better speed and availability. So again, this is the same. So network as a service or VPN provides you with IPsec VPN option, SSL VPN, SD-WAN, clientless VPN as well for a third party. For I would say irrespective of the client. And clean pipe, it is actually a feature typically for ISPs, I would say. Okay, so ISPs can connect to PA or Prisma Access using a native connection directly to Google Cloud because it's the backend high-speed network that is used by Prisma Access. So for better performance, okay. So it's like instead of using IPsec VPN, they can use the ISPs can send they can send their traffic through clean pipe to Prisma Access, and they can get secure connectivity or secure internet access for their customers. So when it comes to zero trust, yeah, so zero trust is basically the use of application ID, user ID, even content ID, and HIP profile or of the global protect. So yeah, so if you have seen before, we talked about zero trust. It's like you don't assume trust assumptions, or you don't do trust assumptions on the user or application or data. You basically inspect all the traffic from no matter from where it is coming, and what time it is coming and located from anywhere. QoS is similar to the QoS on the next generation firewall. So you get user based and application based QoS tagging. So you define what are the critical applications, what applications need high speed, what are not non-critical applications, and even based upon user, you can define policies to reserve bandwidth for those applications and users. DNS security. Yeah, so DNS security is is a subscription which is actually which has to be purchased when you go for on-prem NGFW firewall or VM firewall. But unlike the hardware and VM series firewall, DNS security is included in the PA subscription, Prisma Access bundle. So it helps you block bad domains, and as you can see, it helps with the help of machine learning. It can also block, um, I would say, domain generation algorithms, which basically helps in DNS tunneling. Okay, so it's like through DNS, because the DNS requests or DNS protocol is allowed by as it's a well-known protocol, and it's used by you know it's basically allowed, I would say, by any customer from inside to outside. So attackers, they can use DNS tunneling to get access to the data, I would say, or exfiltrate data through DNS tunneling. So through DNS security, they can you can block bad domains, and you can block DNS tunneling and data exfiltration, and you can predict using machine learning the DNS generation or domain generation algorithms and block them. Yeah, firewall as a service. Yeah, I would say that's the core. So you get gateway firewalls, the same next generation firewalls as a service, always on, and they can be they are orchestrated by always on panorama and logged by logging service cloud Cortex data lake. Threat prevention features that you have seen on the next generation firewalls, like um, single pass parallel processing architecture, security policies, and even security profiles all applied on each and every packet when it comes, when the packet comes in and go out, to provide you with better throughput, or I would say, what throughput has been mentioned to you or promised to you. So yeah, DLP is something which is still I would say I would say it has been developed, but it is still being enhanced as we see in the future. It is there are still work going on them. Okay, so Prisma Access has they have already predefined DLP profiles for ease of detecting various data patterns, and these data patterns are based on I would say that these profiles are based on machine learning data patterns, various data patterns that have been recognized by Palo Alto, worked upon by Palo Alto, document properties to reduce the false positives. So it's actually this DLP or data pattern feature started with Prisma SAS, if you're aware of that. Prisma SAS is again Prisma is a part of Prisma solutions, okay, or SAS, not SASE. Here we'll say securing the cloud solution. Okay, so Prisma, to just additional information here, Prisma has three offerings. It is Prisma Cloud, Prisma SaaS, and Prisma SASE. Okay, so Prisma Cloud is for securing your cloud. Okay, then so Prisma SaaS is to secure your software as a SaaS applications or software as a service applications, and Prisma SASE is secure access service edge, which is for securing, you're providing you with security as a service, I would say, or yeah, that's what we have been discussing. So it started with SAS, Prisma SAS, and now it has been also incorporated in Prisma Access. Yeah. So using CASB is a well-known feature. Okay, when it comes to cloud-based or SaaS security. Okay, SaaS application security. Again, it had also started with Prisma SAS. Okay, so Prisma SAS, as you can see in the API, Prisma SAS would be hosted. It will be set up in inline mode to basically inspect all the SaaS applications. Okay, and to scan the contents of the SaaS applications, for threats like malicious files, and even send files to Wildfire Sandbox. So that is the level of inspection that Prisma SAS can do. So similar feature has been incorporated in Prisma SASE. Using the CASB, you can allow or block SaaS applications. You can restrict the the granular functions, I would say, of SaaS applications. So here again, even Prisma Access works like Prisma SAS in inline mode, and it can even provide you with granular control, like uploading a file. So for example, if you want, you can we can inspect the SaaS application like Office 365, and even you can upload any file from which is being detected to Office 365 or to any other drive that you want. Okay, you can even redirect the access to personal cloud drive like Dropbox to corporate or enterprise Dropbox solution. So you can take security controls by inspecting the traffic of SaaS applications, and even majorly or at mainly allowing or blocking, or if you're not blocking them, you can tolerate or restrict them or provide the granular control as you need. Okay, so that was it. Thank you. So here, to summarize, we covered what is SASE technology, I would say, on a higher level, and then what Prisma Access does, or what is Prisma Access offering from Palo Alto, what are the different use cases, feature set, and benefits. Okay, so SASE is a well-known cloud-based technology Prisma Access is is a product from Palo Alto, and it provides you with I would say always on secure access to internet data, SaaS applications, and data resources on-prem or on cloud for any user or any device or any application anywhere at any time. To keep it simple. Yeah. Thank you. So yeah.
Perfect. I
Thank
think
you.
that will be all, Navid. Thank you so much for the session.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. So.